Hello and welcome for another nice 8-mile walk. Today we're on the edge of the River Yare and we're in Ted Ellis Country. Now, Ted Ellis was a naturalist who unfortunately died in 1986. He was well known to Norfolk. And this is one of Norfolk's finest rivers. This is the River Yare, and we're at Bramerton Common. And we begin our journey beside the river, but we're soon heading inland on a short detour. Well, we've just left the river. We turned sharply right across some boggy land. If we had recent rain it would be quite boggy, but today it's not too bad. And we're now heading through some woodland, which is used to be the finest chestnut wood in Norfolk. But I think the recent storms, well I say recent, it's probably 87, destroyed a fair number of them. Well, we're not far from the river, just left a little bit of woodland and we're now walking down a nice lane with open fields to the right of me. I've already seen, which I believe was an otter on the marshy bit, in the little stream. Watch out for the nettles down here. Well, our path soon leads to Surlingham Church. This, with its round tower, is one of the oldest of Surlingham's two churches. The ruins of the later church lie about half a mile away, and that is where Ted Ellis is buried, in the churchyard. We're now left Surlingham Church and we're heading down a nice little track leading back towards the river. And this path leads to the RSPB's Church Marsh Reserve. But here you must keep your dogs under control, because you may see kingfishers and roasted grebes. This section of the River Yare was painted by artists of the Norwich School. And shortly on from here is a hide dedicated to Ted Ellis, which give excellent foods across the marshes and the abundance of wildlife, mainly birds. Well, this is where we walk the plank. Well, we eventually reached the Surlingham Ferry House pub. It wasn't too difficult along this track. Take note of the old painting of the ferry, which used to go across the river here, but was abandoned in 1946. Right, we're now left the river and the pub, and we're now walking down a slight tarmac road leading away from the river. Following a nice long stretch of riverside walking down to the pub and what seemed like an eternity of tarmac road, we're now heading towards the Ted Ellis Nature Reserve along a nice little dirt track. Well, these pictures of Ted Ellis, the naturalist. He lived here in this idyllic marshland cottage at Wheatfen Broad, not far from Surlingham. Well, this hide is known as the thatch. And you can sit here, look outside at the wildlife, and on the walls there's masses of photographs and lots of information. Definitely worth a look. In this reserve you've got a lot of winding little tracks, and as you progress along them you hear the wonderful sound of birdsong all around you. Well, behind me is Wheatfen Broad, one of the last remaining swamp areas of the Yare Valley, and undoubtedly one of the most important sites in Britain. Well, we've now left the Ted Ellis Nature Reserve, and we're now going to continue along farm tracks beside fields. Our journey now continues across arable land with fine views all around and back towards the river. We're close to Rock and St Mary, so there's another pub there if you fancy a drink along the way. Well, thankfully we didn't have to go through the field with this fine bull and his herd of cows. We had to pass along the hedge to the side of the field, where we startled a heron, which took off in flight. Well, who said Norfolk was flat? From this view here on this hill, yes, there is a hill in Norfolk, we're not all flat. Magnificent views all around us. Just take a look. And it was on this small pond close to this hill farm that I spotted some moorhen chicks, which rapidly hid up in the trees and bushes. Well, we just turned right next to a small pond and a farm called, I believe, called the Normans. We're now heading up an ancient lane called St Edmund's Way. Not the St Edmund's Way footpath from Bury St Edmunds, but this one possibly went to Caister St Edmund, an ancient Roman town, which I think I might do a walk to there another day. No, this isn't some deformed walker left in the field and got lost. This is in fact a very English scene, that of a scarecrow. Well, this is either an ancient boundary stone or a mile marker. Our path now continues past Bramerton Church. Well, it's been quite an interesting walk. It's beautiful countryside, a bit too much tarmac road for my liking, but we're on our way back now, back to where the cars parked right beside the River Yare.